Hello, everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Now, this has been a long overdue promise from me to incorporate some training into the company model. A lot of agents have been asking me to do that. Um, Somehow, because of the schedules and trying to bring everybody in one place on those lunch and learns, I felt that's not enough. So, what I have decided to do is create these training modules on various subjects that are going to help you get better in your real estate business. Now, we all know that we are facing a big challenge in our industry, and we're going to be entering into a tough market, a new territory. But I can assure you, with the right strategies, with the right mindset, you will be able to be successful in real estate. And it's going to be just business as usual. It's very important for agents, whether you're new in the business, recently got licensed, or you've been in the business for a while, for a long time, doesn't matter. You have to understand the current market dynamics. Very important. You have to invest in education at this point because with the new changes coming up, it will be required from agents to refresh their knowledge about the forms, about the new rules that have come up and how they affect our business. It's very crucial. It's a very crucial step for you to navigate through this complexities of this industry. Basic idea of this training program is to give you some valuable insight, some practical tips as to how you can work out on a niche market for yourself, build a strong foundation, and just be successful in this market environment. I will be going over different topics in different presentations, talking about how to understand the current real estate market. That's by far the most important topic going on. How to work on the trends and forecasts of the market. How to identify the opportunities in this market, a very important presentation. How to build your strong foundation through additional education, through additional licensing, um, choosing the right mentor. If you feel that you are not confident enough to deal with this complex market, I strongly urge for you to get a mentor. There are many experienced agents in the company who are willing to offer their mentorship. So I would strongly encourage you that if you feel that you are in the need of a mentorship, you can reach out to other agents. You can also reach out to me, and I'll be happy to assist you to the best I can. We'll be talking about targeted marketing strategies, your target audience, your niche market. One of the most important things that we will talk about is also how to develop your strong branding as an agent. It's your business. I have been telling you repeatedly, getting your license and hanging your license with Melange is a platform, okay? But at the end of the day, it's your branding, it's your business. So what you can do to build your strong personal brand, and at the same time, how you can network and build strong relationships in the real estate industry. So, so this has been a long going conversation discussion between the agents at our different lunch and learn meetings that most of the agents who work in the company have been working with buyers, and we need to improvise ourselves. We need to provide them training as to how they should start working with sellers. Um, so today's presentation is about how to work with sellers, part one. Okay. This is a long topic. This is a lengthy topic. So I will break it down into different parts. But we will start our first presentation with how to work with sellers and what should be the main contents of your listing package. Now remember, these videos, these presentations are not going to be technically fancy. No beautiful, fancy PowerPoint presentations because I am more concentrated, I'm more focused on the content rather than the beauty of the presentation. So again, these are going to get better and better with time. We're going to incorporate different resources to to make them better, like I said. So I'm going to share a document with you that I have created, which talks about what should be your basic content of a listing package. Before you go and meet with a seller for an appointment, I would highly recommend that you create a listing folder. Now, this can be done electronically as well. This can be done digitally, and of course, on a hard copy as well, depending upon how you are meeting with your clients. Is it a live meeting? Is it a Zoom meeting? If you're just on the phone and exchanging emails. So a digital format of this would be pretty reasonable for you to create and pass it on to your prospective sellers. So let's dive into contents of a pre-listing package. What I've done is I have highlighted some bullet points, and you can choose to alter that based on your preferences as well. But I believe the first page, the first most important document that should be in your pre-listing package should be your agent biography. It should be a biography about who you are. It will help you build strong relationships. It will allow you to demonstrate your experience, your unique value proposition. I've been talking about that repeatedly in our lunch and learns, that there is a time that you have to demonstrate your value proposition, what you are bringing to the table. There are other real estate licensees, there are other real estate companies out there doing business, but you need to demonstrate your unique value proposition. It's a good idea to let you know or let them know about your community involvement. Are you a part of a nonprofit organization, your children's soccer team, their school PTAs, and things like that? This will give them an opportunity of not just knowing you on a professional level, but also as how your personal life is. The second thing which is important is your history in the business, which is examples of the homes that you have sold. Now, agents who have been in the business for a while have their own portfolio of properties that they have sold. What I would strongly recommend you is take some time, go on the MLS, go in your past history, and make a list of properties that you have dealt with, you've sold, you have listed, you have represented buyer. These are just properties you have sold. At the same time, remember, you are under the umbrella of Melange Real Estate. So you can use properties which have been sold by the company. Even though if they have been sold by another agent, you can officially market those under your umbrella as well. Get testimonials from your past clients. Very important. There are many, services right now. You can send them emails through Google reviews. Very good. There is ratemyagent.com. There's a website which is a paid service. It can be as simple as just reaching out to your seller after your closing and telling them, hey, do you mind writing a few lines about what my level of service was, so I can have a better understanding of what I can do to improve myself. You can also ask them to shoot a small video from their phone. It doesn't have to be fancy. It can be very organic, but that's a great idea to have testimonials. It gives a professional, it gives these sellers, your clients, a good idea about how you have worked in the past and what other people have to say about your performance and about your service. Okay. So once you have covered these three items, let's move on to the important part. Now the seller knows that, okay, Mr. Realtor or Miss Realtor, you have demonstrated that you are an amazing 5-star realtor. Now you tell me, what do you plan to do with my property? What is your strategy to sell my home? Because at the end of the day, that's the goal, to sell that property. Now the marketing plan there are certain things that are generic, which you do for every property. You can go ahead and talking about putting it in the MLS, distributing it in various internet websites, uh, shooting photos, videos, and again, these things will change depending upon the the size of the property, the dollar amount of the listing, and how much you want to invest into the marketing of that property. If you, for example, if you're listing a waterfront property, which is for about $2 million, couple of $1 million, yes, it's a wise business decision for you to spend a couple of $1,000s out of your own pocket and spend money on professional shoots, videos, drone videos, and flyers, fancy marketing material, hold nice open houses and things like that. Versus if you're planning to list a property which is a fixer upper, which is geared for investors only, then your marketing plan will change. So we're going to go over some of the things that you should propose to your clients, that these are the steps you will follow, these are the things that you do, and then again you can tailor that based on your listing presentation and the type of client that you're going to be working with. You can suggest any of these items, something like professional home staging and photography. Um, you can also talk about outgoing phone calls to prospective buyers. Now, this is considered more like a follow up, or if you have been working with buyers, it's been a tough market for the past few years. Many buyers out there and not enough inventory. So if you've been keeping record of the people that you're working and you were not able to help them in the past, this is a good time for you to follow up with them, let them know, hey, I have something that falls into your parameters of the property that you were looking at. It can be based on pricing, it can be based on geography, many variables. So yes, you can reach out to buyers. Strategic open houses. Now, open houses have gained a lot of popularity, especially after the COVID, where people were just driving around and trying to find homes. So a few years ago, we saw a decline in open houses, but now the open houses are becoming more and more common. Not only it helps you market the property, but it has an upside to it. When you hold an open house in a neighborhood, the first few people who are going to walk into that property are, of course, going to be your neighbors. And they will be the first ones who are going to be the nosy neighbors who will try to find out what's going on. So that will give you a good labeling, a good branding in that neighborhood that, okay, you are a licensed real estate professional, you are working with these clients, and you are establishing yourself as a realtor in that neighborhood. They should be well organized. You should have informative materials, possible some refreshments. I have known some of the agents in the company go way overboard with refreshments, and I don't want you to, just go crazy with them, crazy over the refreshments, depending upon what your budget is and what you're capable of. But yeah, have some coffee, some cookies, some chips, some soda, some water. Again, all these things depend upon the dollar amount of the listing and how aggressive you want to go ahead and market that property. Online marketing. This is where you need to focus a lot. You have to let your seller understand that even though you will be doing the traditional open houses and you will be sending out flyers and emails and information, but your focus is going to be on the online marketing. You can use services like Constant Contact, eCampaign Pro. You can use MailChimp and send out blast emails, post these properties on Facebook, social media websites, and that will help you. utilizing, SEOs, search engine optimization techniques to make sure that your properties are on the top of the listing, top of the search engines. You should let them know about social media marketing, how you do that. Direct mail and email campaigns that we talked about as well. At the same time, you should let them know that you do networking a lot. And if you're not doing networking, you start doing networking. This is what I recommend. I've been telling that repeatedly. You have to network. You have to network with other real estate professionals, other people, your title companies, your insurance agents, any home inspectors. You have to network with them. We have talked about this in the past, that the word of mouth referrals are the best ones. Your SEOs, your SOIs, your sphere of influence is your best word of mouth referrals. And then you should focus about negotiating and closing expertise. So you need to explain to them that it's not an instant thing. It's a process from listing to the closing table. There is going to be various different events that you will be dealing with. It's not simply just putting the property in the MLS and then waiting for the buyer to come in. Closing a transaction requires a great deal of expertise, knowledge. Remember this. Just getting an offer on the property, getting it executed is not enough. There are different hoops that you have to go through. So you have to let them know, you have to make them understand that closing is a process and it's your responsibility, it's your duty to make sure that the closing is going to be a smooth process. So once you have done all of this, then you need to give them, you can possibly give them a strategic partners and a vendors list. Now, again, all these things are depending upon the type of the client, the type of the listing, if it's owner occupied, if it's tenant occupied, if it's vacant, if it's an investor's property, it just varies. So, but yes, what I would highly recommend you is that you need to create a list of strategic partners, which includes home inspectors, appraisers, insurance agents, handymen. These are some of the people that I would recommend you to have a list ready and you can show them to your seller. So now, once you've done that, then you need to explain to them that there has to be a process on their end. There is a checklist. I would suggest that you provide your sellers a checklist about how to prepare their home for that listing. Some of the items, like see in this document, prior to listing the home on the market, it's important to present potential sellers with a list of ideas and assignments. Let them know it's a joint venture. They have to be cooperative and they have to work together as a team with you in order to get this to the closing table. Declutter and depersonalize your home. Very important. We walk into many homes and we see, furniture and a range of things that can make the listing look very poor. So give them a recommendation. Make necessary repairs and updates. So if there is a leaking faucet, fix it. Okay. One of the strategies that I have personally used when I work with sellers, I ask them to spend a few $100s and get a professional home inspection done. Now that home inspection is not written in stone, but when you get an inspection done prior to listing, I can understand it's a few $100 expense, but it gives you the list of properties based on that inspector's review, which could be wrong, and gives you a perfect opportunity to your seller to fix those items before even putting the property on the market or while the property is on the market. Staging the home has been getting a lot of popularity. It makes a big impact on how your home is going to look like. So in many situations, the cost of the staging is paid by the seller. There are companies out there who will bill you at the closing. Different companies have different payment arrangements. If you're interested, you can reach out to them. and work with whoever you decide to work with. How you pay for the staging of the home is purely up to you. You can choose to absorb the cost. You can choose to pass on the cost to your seller. You can do a 50-50 split. It's purely your discretion. I am not going to dictate that. I'm not going to control that. And then we're talking about a detailed listing description. Very, very important. Because you have to understand the first impact that about your property on a prospective buyer is going to be your videos, your pictures, and how you describe the property. Years ago, we used to spend hours and hours putting the light descriptions together, but with the AI tools, with the artificial intelligence right now gaining so much popularity, I think it's a matter of minutes where you can create an amazing listing description so that a prospective buyer can visualize how the property is going to meet their needs or not. So we do all of that. Another step would be to explain them the home selling process. Now, this is very important. You have to understand that an average American does this gig 3 or 4 times in their entire lifetime. Okay. You and I deal with it on a daily basis. So we pretty much remember the steps, or we kind of know what's going to happen next. The seller doesn't know about it. So it's your responsibility to make them aware of the process. It starts with the listing agreement. That's the first step of doing business, starting the relationship. We at Melange work with exclusive right of sale listing agreements. If you choose to work with your client with any other form of listing agreements or an agency relationship, you have to communicate with me and get prior approval from the office. The listing agreement outlines the scope of the duties, the terms of the relationship, the commission, and so forth. Steps involved in the marketing, how you plan to market the property to the potential buyers. And then offers. How are you going to entertain the offers? How does the seller wishes to entertain the offers? It depends from client to one client to another. There may be a family, there may be a seller who is just a couple. They can make a decision within a few minutes, versus there can be multiple owners on a property and they are in different cities and they need time for response. So find out about their schedules and do they require or any additional timing? Do they want to give you any specific instructions as to how to respond to the offers? You have to let them know the process of an offer and the counter offer and how the offer is executed. You have to remember, you've learned this in school and you've learned this in your past experiences. Offer, counter offer, counter offer, counter offer. And then when you have the meeting of minds, when all parties agree to all the terms and the conditions of the contract and sign off on it, that's where we call it an executed contract. So you have to explain them the difference between the offer and the contract. And then, of course, once you have the executed contract in hand, and that's where the fun begins, where it's talking about inspections, appraisals, if it's a cash transaction or if there's financing involved, you should let the sellers know that you will be on top of everything. You will be communicating with the mortgage loan officer, bank, whoever the financing third party is, title company, make sure there are no clouds on the title, if the property owned free and clear, if there are any liens on it, if there is a property owned by a corporation. Very important, remember this. So if the property is owned by an entity rather than a live person, then it's your responsibility. Remember this, it's your responsibility to ensure that the person you are dealing with has the authority to sell the property. Very important, okay? There are many instances, many incidences where A property was jointly owned by two or three or more partners, and one of the partners decided to put it on the market, and the rest of the people didn't even know about it. Guess what? Property blew up last minute. Transaction went stale at the last minute. So it's bad. It's a bad situation. You have to understand. It's your responsibility as a professional to make sure that you have all this due diligence done. Typically, the timeline from a listing to a contract depends upon the market, of course. 30 to 60 days is a fair amount of time where you can evaluate what kind of feedback you have received from the listings, from other realtors, your buyers, and if the price needs to be adjusted, if the condition needs to be, many variables. So a 30 to 60 days is a good time frame for you to judge whether you're in the right direction or not. Now, also, while the property is on the market, not just because pre-listing, even pre-listing and also during the listing period, it's your responsibility to make sure that you keep up to date, not just yourself, but also your seller with the market data. Has anything sold? Has anything come back on the market? Has anything new active on the market in that neighborhood, in that community, in that area? Any information that can affect the sales, it should be conveyed in a clear and concise way to your client. CMA, of course, the first question that the seller is going to ask you is, how much is my home worth? And that's where your expertise comes in to use tools like RPR, Cloud CMA. There are many tools available as a part of our MLS subscription that you can use and pretty accurate. Also, another thing is what's happening in the community. Is there a new road coming in? Is there a new extension coming in? The Tampa Bay market has been changing. I mean, we have experienced crazy growth in the past few years. Single roads have become 4-lane roads now. So it's just changing, constantly changing. Is there any new restaurants coming up? Any new employer coming up? New companies coming up? So many changes, So keep them updated. If there is anything that's going to positively affect, or is it going to negatively affect the value of their property? It's your responsibility as a professional to do that. Finally, we should talk about a listing consultation homework. It's often as a separate letter attachment to the property, list of things that the seller needs to have ready prior to the actual listing consultation. It helps you have a better and a longer detailed conversation. If you can let your sellers know that, hey, Mr. Seller, can you have these items ready with you? So before I come in, I can review them for you. At least I can do it. And those can be disclosure forms, HOA documents, how much are the dues, what are the deed restrictions? Again, if it's a condo, do they have condo docs with them? Any mortgages that they have in the property, you can get a copy of their mortgage statement to kind of make a determination what their payoff on that mortgage is going to be. If they have an existing title policy, you can reach out to a title company to get them a reissue discount if possible. Anything, if they have a survey on the property, anything and everything that you can think of that's going to help you market the property should be a part of that homework. When you are working on a listing package, like I said in the past, like I said before, there are several crucial elements to consider. Each property is unique. So it's advisable for you to conduct more research, customize your packages, depending upon your client's situation and the property location. So this, in general, is what you need to have or what I feel you need to have as a part of your listing presentation, pre-listing package. Okay. Get this package ready and see how it works. If you feel like you need any help from me personally, I'll be happy to do that. I'll be happy to review that, offer you my suggestions. But this is something that all of you as agents, as real estate agents, as realtors should work on. We will talk about in different videos what should be a part of your package when you're working with a buyer. So hope you enjoyed this. I know trying to keep it very simple to the best I can. But if you feel like you need explanation, if you need more clarity on any of the things that I went over, please, I'm just a phone call away. Reach out to me, call me, text me, email me, and I'll be happy to help you work with this package and any other different packages that we will be talking about. Again, my mission, my goal is to make you successful in your real estate career. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a good one. Bye bye.